What's up? Welcome to the second season of Kickin It with Christian. I am so excited to be back. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Kickin It, I launched it during the pandemic on IG Live, and it really was just a great way to connect with people and hear some inspirational stories and advice. We've had some great guests on, like Michael Evans Bailey, who plays Jordan on All American. We've also had Eric Bauza, who has voiced some iconic characters. I'm talking Bugs Bunny, Fozzie Bear, and Daffy Duck. But I'm really excited because this season we are in person. We finally out the house, y'all. So y'all know that means that things are gonna be bigger and better. Now, of course, in true Kickin It form, we're still gonna sit down with some dope people and have some great conversations. No, but that's not it, y'all. We are taking it up a notch. And I'm so excited for you guys to see. Today on the show, we have Danielle Fishel-Karp. You may know her from Boy Meets World or Girl Meets World. And she also has her own hair care line called Be Free by Danielle Fishel. And later, I'll be in the kitchen teaching y'all how to make a quick and easy but delicious meal. All right, so sit back, get comfortable, grab your favorite snack, and let's kick it.
Joanna, your busy body busy tonight. Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. Why you do me like Joanna, Joanna? Why you do me like Joanna, Joanna? How you gonna do me like Joanna?
Y'all, my first guest, I honestly think she needs no introduction, but I'm gonna go ahead and give her one anyway. Y'all, she is an actress, a writer, a producer, a director, mother of two, a wife, an entrepreneur, y'all. She does it all. And I'm so happy to have her here today, the one and only Miss Danielle Fishel.
Thank you, Christian. It is like I'm truly honored that you asked me to do your podcast.
Of course.
You know how I feel about you. I have never tried to hide how much love I have for you.
And I appreciate that so much. And the same goes for me. I love you so much. Like, you are the best. Thank you for coming on and just kicking it with me today.
I'm happy to kick with you. This is great. Let's do it.
Yes, right? Okay, so I just want to ask you real fast because I feel like, well, we've seen each other, but like we've seen each other, I feel like the last time I seen you was like maybe right after the pandemic finished.
Yeah,
but
right before you grew like 7 inches.
Right. Basically. Yeah. But I feel like I never really got a chance to, ask like, how was the pandemic for you? Because I'm sure.
Yeah, the pandemic for everybody was a bit of a roller coaster. There were positive things that came out of it. There were obviously a lot of downsides that came out of it. One of the positives in my life was that I was able to spend a lot of really good quality time with my kids. March of 2020, Adler was 10 months old. And so he's now, almost 3. And so it was really great because I love what I do directing, but it does keep me out of the house, for long days, and so being able to be with him was fantastic. I think he got a little spoiled because he just thought mom and dad were both always home all the time.
My little brothers too.
Yeah, but it was really fun, and so that was nice. We got to connect and bond and be there as a family a lot. And I had also just started. One of the negatives to the pandemic for me business-wise was I had just launched my hair care line. I have a hair care line called Be Free by Danielle Fishel, and I had launched that in December of 2019. And then March, the pandemic hits, and it's like, small business. There's literally 4 of us total who run the entire company. Wow. And it was fully funded by myself and one other person. And so that obviously, business-wise, starting a new business right before the pandemic was difficult. But, overall, we stayed healthy, and so I really cannot complain.
Amazing. Go you. So let's talk it up even more. Let's get into it. Okay, so my first question for you is, what was your why as a kid for wanting to get into the industry?
Man, I wanted to get into the industry because I thought it seemed like fun. It just seemed like such an amazing, I was in gymnastics when I was a kid, from like 3 and maybe 5 to 10. And then at 10 was when I really decided I wanted to start acting. I wanted to just be able to play and have a great time pretending to be other people.
Yes.
And I didn't know any of the hardships of it. It was just fun to me. Even auditioning was fun, which now that I've been doing it for so long, I'm like, oh, auditions. Those are not the fun part. But the jobs are the fun part. And so really it was just about having fun. And it was about making other people have fun. I saw what TV, specifically TV, did for my family of bringing everybody together, having a favorite show we looked forward to watching. And I wanted to be a part of that for other people.
So amazing. Now, do you think your why has like evolved the more you've like been in the business? Because I feel like for me it has.
Yeah.
Because like it's totally different when you like start and you're like, oh, this is just something I want to do. And then you like get into it and you're like, well, my why has changed. Has yours evolved?
Absolutely, my why has changed. Of course, it's still fun. But now, especially that I'm basically a full-time director, my why has really become about wanting to have a hand in the evolution and education of the new generation of young actors. I feel like as a director on primarily kids shows for Disney Channel in particular, it is a real way of me giving back to my younger self. I was once that 12-year-old kid that now I'm getting to direct. And so I look back at my time as a young teen and I think of the directors that I had, David Traynor, Jeff McCracken, among many others, and how respectful they were of us as kids, and how respectful they were of us as artists, and how they never talked down to us. They didn't act as though that because we were kids, we didn't have our own thoughts or opinions about what we were there to do. And they encouraged us to think about our characters and the scene and what we wanted from it. They didn't just tell us what to do. They encouraged us to think on our own. And that can be really hard when you're in a time crunch situation. You know, making kids TV, you don't have a lot of time because kids can't work super long hours. School needs to be done.
And get that 3 hours.
You got to get that 3 hours every day. And so it takes a lot of time to have those dialogues and those conversations, but directors that prioritize that so that the kids they work with walk off that set and know what's expected of them the next time, and they walk away and they go, I got an education there. I wasn't just told what to do. I know why they wanted me to do that. I understood what we're doing, and now I'll never need to be taught that again. Now my brain space is open to learn something new, and I'll learn something new on the next job or from the next director. And so that for me now has really become the why, is that I look at it as like I'm just so honored to have a hand in helping to raise the new generation of young actors.
Well, let me tell you something. You are definitely one of those directors. Like, seriously, anytime you would come on set, I always understood, you know, like you said, what you wanted us to do. And we were just always so happy to have you. Like, your energy was just so contagious and just good, you know, always good vibes, and I just always understood. And I mean, the fact that you are like killing it like this as a director, and I mean, like you're really just starting to get into it, is amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That kind of feedback is really helpful because I know that that's what I want to be and that that's what I'm striving to be, but you don't necessarily always know if you're nailing it. So I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And you know, I mean, obviously when you work with talent like yourself, like your instincts are just so incredible. And so with every actor you meet, you have a different job, because like with you, I didn't need to teach you instincts. You have them. My job with you is making sure, you know, you were pretty green in knowing which way to face for camera and knowing camera angles. So it was teaching you some of that, and then also making sure that you knew how to always follow your instincts, to not let somebody beat your instincts out of you, to not let somebody come in and tell you, no, don't do it like that. Do it like this. Always go back to your intuition, because when you've got the instinct, don't let somebody try to take it away. And so that, you know, nurturing that for you was important to me, and you've only just continued to flourish. So
thank you. And now that you said that, that is definitely something that you've helped me with, like just trusting my instincts and just not just getting in my head, just going for it, you know? And taking risks, you know, so much of acting is about taking a risk. It's about saying, well, I did that last time, I'm going to try something slightly different this time. And you can gauge it. You know, you obviously are a comedic actor. You know when the laugh is there, which one was slightly better, but you have to take the risk. You have to say, well, but what if it's funnier if I do it this way? And you try it and you go, okay, that wasn't funnier, or maybe it was funnier, and you go, yes. And those are the greatest, the best feeling
you've like taken the risk and it's paid off for you and you're like, man, that feels good. And so, you know, having a director that gives you that freedom too, that lets you say, we got one that way. And I love it that way. And if that's the best one, we'll use it. But you know what? Do something different this time.
Yeah.
Have fun. Feel around. What else could you do to bring life to it?
Yeah.
And you were always really great at that.
Thank you. Oh, you're the best. Okay, so as you like got into it and you kept auditioning, and you know, just kept getting in the industry and kept growing as an actor, what kept you going?
Well, for 7 straight years, I was on Boy Meets World. And Boy Meets World was one of my very first jobs that I ever got. So I was like really lucky. It's, you know, to start that young and then to have a job that goes for that many seasons is pretty rare, certainly these days. And so truthfully then when Boy Meets World ended, I didn't really want to act anymore. I really wanted to take some time off, and I did.
Really?
Yeah, I took some time off, and I felt like, because I was going to school full time the whole time we were on Boy, and so all of my high school career was while I was doing it. I just really felt like I wanted a life outside of being an actor. The downside with that is, you know, we've all heard the saying, strike while the iron is hot.
They're always
And,
gonna say
you know, if you don't maintain the momentum that you have going from your last project into the next project, people will forget about you. And once you are forgotten about, it's very hard to get people to remember you again.
Yep.
And so acting then became something that I took a couple years off, and then it was very hard for me to get a job that I was really excited about. So then I started doing some hosting, and I hosted a show for 3 years on the Style Network called The Dish, and it was based off the show The Soup, where they would take clips from different shows that were on TV and they would poke fun at them, and we did that for 3 seasons, and that was really great. And then I went to college. I went to college later in life to get a psychology degree.
Go ahead.
And yeah, while I was getting that psychology degree, I graduated from Cal State Fullerton, and I applied for my master's. I had fully decided I was walking away from the entertainment industry and I was going to be a marriage and family therapist.
Yeah.
And I got accepted for my master's degree at Chapman University. Basically the same day I got the phone call from Michael Jacobs saying they wanted to reboot Boy Meets World into Girl Meets World.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, so, you know, are you willing to come back? Do you want to see Topanga as a mother? And I was like, I'm supposed to go to get my master's degree, and maybe I could do both. And I asked the Chapman University like what time the classes were, and they said our night classes are at 4 p.m. And I said, I'm never going to be able to be in, you know, I'm going to be on set for sure at 4 p.m. And I had to choose between going back to acting and bringing back Topanga as a mother, or getting my master's degree. And I realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do Girl Meets World, but that my master's program, if I wanted to do it, was always going to be there. I could always go back and get my master's. So I made the choice to go back and do Topanga again.
Well, we're so happy that you did, because Girl Meets World is I can't even speak. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a really fun show. As a matter of fact, I was just at Wango Tango last weekend, and a couple of the performers there, a girl named Lauren Spencer Smith and another girl named Gail, came up to me and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm such a big fan. And in my head, I was thinking to myself, wow, they're really young to know Boy Meets World.
Right.
And then one of them said, I can't believe you're the mom from Girl Meets World. And I was like, I'm old.
I know, it's funny because it's like, just like how when Girl Meets World came out, like the new audience.
Exactly.
You know?
I'll never forget, I was living in Orange County and we were doing Girl Meets World, and I had been basically anonymous, living on my street. Nobody, you know, knew who I was. Nobody cared. I just had my neighbors that I said, hi, you know, no big deal. Yeah. And then Girl Meets World premiered, and the following week I came home from work and I was driving down my street and the kids were all home from school and they were all standing out on their driveways, and all of a sudden a bunch of kids are waving to me as I drive by, and I'm driving and I'm looking at all the kids and I'm like, hello, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I go, oh, Disney Channel.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's what's happening. It was it didn't even occur to me. I was like, why do all these kids want to wave at me now? But there you go.
And let me tell you something, people were not ready for that show to end.
I know. It ended after only 3 seasons. We really wanted a 4th.
Yeah. It's an amazing show, though.
Thank you.
Okay, now this is a really, I feel like, important question. It's would you say social media presented more or less pressure in your career?
Oh my gosh. Thankfully, for my career, social media didn't exist.
Right.
In the 90s, there was no social media. And I say it all the time because I do get asked regularly. How is it that you think you've stayed so normal? You're normal, and so many other child actors went off the rails or, you know, had other issues. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with whether or not social media was around, affecting people's day-to-day, because immediate feedback from people on the internet can be a real blessing or a real curse.
Oh, it could be.
And knowing what everyone thinks about you and every single thing you've said, and it happening so fast. You know, now you do an interview and that interview is up on the internet within 24 hours. And God forbid you said something you didn't mean, or you made a mistake, or you made a joke that didn't land the right way. And now you've got people saying,
now you're canceled.
Now you're canceled, or you're being made fun of, or people are looking at what you're wearing and they're like, what is she wearing? Just that, we aren't built for that. We used to be in tribes, you know, where maybe we knew what was going on with the tribe next door. But we didn't certainly know what was going on with countries away, and we're taking in so much stuff. And for those of us who are empathetic, which I think most actors are empathetic, because we have to be able to feel the emotions of other people in order to play them. That kind of feedback about yourself so immediately, for better or worse, can be really hard, really hard. And so I sympathize and empathize so much with the generations of kids today who grow up with, I mean, you don't know anything different. It's all you've known. You don't know a life without social media.
That's so true.
But, you know, I think, and it's something I even bring into my job as a director too. I'm aware, like, this job right now that they're doing, you have so many other things going on in your life. You've got social media where people are asking you to be posting content, make content, create content, post content, and then you've got your school, and you're still trying to maintain, you have to be a functioning member of your family, and you've got to have a social life. It's like school. There are just so many things on your shoulders that I don't know how kids today do it. It is so admirable to me how much you guys are able to balance and how you do it all. A really good message for everyone to recognize that you are in control about whether or not you are using social media, and taking social media breaks really are mental health breaks. And to really look at social media as being a tool that when it benefits you, by all means use it. And when it starts to become a detriment to you, stop. There's it will always be there. It will always be there for you to go back to, but your mental health and your spiritual health and the other things that you're trying to maintain, like your family life and your social life, if social media is starting to negatively impact other areas of your life, take a break. Take a social media hiatus, and you can start small. I'm not touching it for a day. I'm gonna delete the apps off my phone. You don't have to delete your account, just delete them off your phone. So that when you go to, because I can't even tell you how many times when I don't have something to do, I pick up my phone, and before I know it, I'm like,
it's just a
when
habit.
did I even open Instagram?
It's just a habit.
And so if it's not on your phone, you can't do it. So delete the apps for one day. I'm not gonna touch them. And then if that day goes well, say, you know what, I'm gonna try it for 2 days. Now I'm gonna try it for a week. And I think making sure you're staying aware of how it's making you feel, and then reacting accordingly.
That's such good advice. It really is. And I was just about to ask, like, what advice would you have for kids who are like struggling with social media and mental health? But I mean, that's just a great answer for that.
Take a break.
And I think that's so good, like you said, starting small and just working your way up.
Yes. You know, you want to set yourself up for success. You don't ever want to set yourself up to fail. And if you come out with lofty goals, I'm not going to do it for a month. Sure, you may succeed, or you may get 12 hours into it and suddenly have opened Instagram, and then you're like, I can't commit to anything. I let myself down. Start small, and if that day goes well, go ahead and extend it. And then you'll get to say, hey, guess what? I went an entire week. That wasn't how I didn't set out to do a week, but I did it. Like, I start small with everything I do in my life. I want to lose a couple pounds. All right, I'm gonna just try to lose 1 pound. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna start walking more, and I'm gonna start eating more. I'm gonna eat more fruit throughout the day. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take more steps, and I'm gonna eat more fruit. And then that goes well. I'm in the habit of that. That starts being easier. Now I'm gonna start doing weights. I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna eat some fruit. And then I start small with everything.
Oh, love that. Okay, so as you began to pursue an acting career, right, was it what you expected? And what were some of the challenges you faced?
I think the thing I didn't realize when I was a kid, but that I certainly realize now, especially as a mom, is how much it is, when you're a child actor, it is the family's full job. Someone has to be present with you on set. But if you have siblings, somebody also needs to be present with them. So does that mean your siblings are always on set with you? Or does that mean one of your parents is with you and your other parent, if you're lucky enough to have 2 parents, is with your siblings? In which case, now your family is split up a lot. Your siblings are with one parent, one other parent's with you. You don't really get to spend that whole family time. Your siblings are sacrificing because they don't have their other parent there with them all the time. You're sacrificing because you don't get to be with your other parent and your siblings. And I didn't realize how much sacrifice went in from like how much sacrificing everyone in my family needed to do in order for me to pursue my dreams. And I think about that a lot now with my brother, who is 4 years younger than me, and I thank him for it regularly. I say, I'm sorry that your teenage years were totally different than they would have been had I not been doing what I was doing. And my brother works in the entertainment industry. He's a producer and he's a writer and a director, and so he gets it. Right. But my pursuing my dreams really changed the trajectory of my brother's life too.
Yeah. So such good stuff. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit to your breakout role, Topanga. We already talked about it a little bit, but it was on ABC for 7 years.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Tell us how that just changed your life and like how that was for you when you found out all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it truly was absolutely life-changing. I had auditioned for the role of Topanga and didn't get a call back. Just didn't even get the second audition. It was like, nope, not the right person. And then the next day, I got a call for an audition for a different character on the same show. Okay. And I went in for that role, and I got that role. So I showed up to work on the set of Boy Meets World for an episode called Corey's Alternative Friends. And there was the girl they cast as Topanga. And she was working with the director, and I was sitting there as this other character and was watching the director work with her and was watching how he was really giving her acting lessons. Yeah. There was a line where Topanga was supposed to say peace and then walk away. And she was doing it a little more like peace, a little like little down, peace, and leaving. And I was watching the director work with her, and it's not sad. It's just sweet, peace. Right. And she leaves, and she does the peace sign. She walks away, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, this is really like my first real acting lesson. Like really realizing that the way you deliver something can invoke a feeling in someone else. And you can, depending on the way you say it, it can invoke different feelings. Right. And thinking, oh, I totally know why I didn't get that character. I did not read the sides of Topanga that way at all. I'm thinking, oh, interesting. I see why I didn't get it. And then later that first day, they fired the girl who played Topanga. Hey. And I was there. Yeah. And they were like, would you audition again to play this part? And I said, sure. And again, I'd been paying attention all day, watching the director work with her. And I was like, me, yes, give me the chance to do it. And I went in and I did the audition. And another girl also went in and auditioned. And I thought, there's no way I got it. She definitely got it. When she walked out of the room, they were like, so what are you doing this weekend? It was a Friday, and she was going up north to see her family. And they were like, well, we need ways to get in touch with you. So, we need your cell phone number, which there weren't cell phones back then, but we need the number to where you're going and up north. And we have to be able to get in touch with you in case, and then I did the audition. And when I walked out, they were like, bye. And I thought, I definitely didn't get it. I didn't get it. And I was so sad. And my mom and I got in the car, and I was crying, and my dad was paging my mother. There were pagers back then. Pagers. My dad was paging my mother because at this point we were supposed to be home a lot earlier. This audition now happened after work. So he's like, where are you? I'm worried about you. So we called from the Zach Morris car phone. We had a big old car phone. And we called my dad to say, sorry, we're running late. They asked me to audition for this role. And my dad said, sorry, hold on, there's a call waiting, there's a call waiting. And I said, okay. And I look over at my mom, I said, there's a call waiting. And my dad comes back on the phone and he goes, that was someone named Sally Steiner, who was the casting director. Sally Steiner, who was the casting director on Boy Meets World.
I did not know that.
Yes. That was Sally Steiner.
The reason why I'm so shocked, y'all, is because she is one of our casting directors on Sydney to the Max.
Sally and Barbie were the casting directors on Boy Meets World. So Sally Steiner said to my dad, hi, my name's Sally. Will you please tell Danielle to come back on Monday as the role of Topanga? My dad didn't even know what that meant. He's like, what? Because I still hadn't even been able to tell him. So he comes back to the phone and he goes, that was someone named Sally Steiner and she said to show up on Monday as Topanga? And I went, wow. I screamed. I looked at my mom, I got it. My mom and I are jumping up and down in our seats. And that's how I found out.
That's so exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so you say you were in the, you just got back from the audition in the car?
In the car. So we were so our weeks started on Fridays. So on Friday, we did a table read in the morning and then a little bit of rehearsal. And then we'd have a weekend. And then Monday, we came back and we'd have rehearsal all day, producer run through. Then Tuesday, rehearsal all day, network run through. And then Wednesday was pre-tape day. Thursday, we did a little bit of pre-tape, and then we had a live studio audience on Thursday night.
Which is so fun. I really wanted a live studio audience for Sydney.
It's the best. The immediate, we were just talking about immediate feedback. The immediate feedback of an audience is perfect.
Right.
You know when something's landing, you know when something's working, you know when something isn't working, which is just as helpful as knowing when something is. Because if something's not working, it's not going to work when it airs on TV either. So glad we know it now. Let's rework it. Let's find something new. Let's punch it up. Let's come up with something. So yeah, live studio audience is great.
So fun, and what a fun way to find out that you got that role.
Yeah, it was great. It was only supposed to be 1 week, so that same week, so that Monday I had to show up, and now I had, I went from having 2 lines in the episode to having 60 lines in the episode, and I had to come back and just be this new character on Monday, and it was only supposed to be that 1 episode, and then
they bumped you up, right?
Yeah, and then that 1 episode went so well. They ended up realizing this relationship between Corey and Topanga was maybe going to start being a pillar of the show. And so they started bringing me back more and more regularly. And by season 2, I was a series regular.
Wow, that is so inspiring. You just took advantage of that opportunity and just said, hey, I'm going to give it all I got. Just let it go. And next thing you know, you're on the show every episode.
Exactly.
Just like that. Wow.
Yep.
Y'all can do anything. Y'all hear this?
That's
and it's
exactly
just crazy
right.
how things work out.
Yep.
Ooh, that's so fun. Okay. So can you just speak to the work behind being a child actor? Even though I feel like we already kind of talked about that a little bit. We touched on it a little bit. And just, some of the things you have to juggle. Because I know a lot of kids, I've had kids ask me, about being a child actor. And of course it's fun. It looks fun. It is fun. But it's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and a lot of sacrifice and just a lot of, on everyone's part, and just a lot of work that goes into it before you really get to where you want to be.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, the work that happens on the set on the day of is actually, this is part 2 of the work. By the time you've shown up to work, you've already done work.
Exactly.
You've already read the script, either early in the morning or late at night, depending on when it came out. You've already had to make sure you've got some idea of what's changed from the day before. So, you're looking at your lines and you're thinking, okay, now my character finds out about this dilemma that's happening a little bit earlier, and he reacts to it or responds to it in this way, and that way is hurt. But he doesn't want to show that it's hurt. He wants to pretend it's all okay, so I'm putting on a facade. You've already had to think about those things so that by the time you get to rehearsal and you're doing it in front of me, it's not the very first time you've ever thought of it. So, the actual day-to-day work, like you said, of course it's fun, but it isn't all live studio audience tapings. It's also memorizing lines, having lines changed on you after
On
you've
the
memorized
spot.
them on the spot. A whole page can, just like that, crossed out, forget everything you said. Now you say part of what you said before, but with 3 different words here, and now there's a new joke here, which means when he says that, you have to remember that your cue line is different.
And now you don't walk there anymore, and it's like, whoa.
Exactly, and you do walk this way, but make sure it's you're in a position that doesn't necessarily feel
And
super,
action.
and go, and then
Right.
and you're out there. And so it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of focus, and it's a lot of sacrifice. You know, you've on weekends, if you've got a taping on Monday, you think, wow, great, a weekend, I've got freedom to do what I want, but really, you're gonna get new scripts, you have to memorize your lines, you aren't gonna be out late because you're gonna then be tired on tape day, and you know, it is a full-time job.
It really
while
is.
you also still have the full-time job of school, and
Everything
then
else.
all the other responsibilities that go along with being a kid.
Exactly. And friends and just everything else, which actually I do want to talk about friends for a second, but I do just want to kind of piggyback off of what you said about juggling. Everything you said, that's so true. And I just think, you know, it just, when you get there, it makes it even better.
Yep.
You know, like it makes it even more just like worth it, you know, because
Yes.
you could tell yourself, I fought for this, I worked for this, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy, but I'm finally here.
Yes, it makes you appreciate it more when it isn't just handed to you.
Exactly.
Because you set your mind to something, you sacrifice the things you needed to sacrifice in order to get to where you are, and then it does become easier. People start to work around you a little bit more. But getting started is not glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about it. Eventually, there will be some glamour. There will be red carpets, and there will be, there will be those moments. But the beginning is really just a lot of getting in there and getting your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Taking acting classes.
Taking acting classes,
Staying
constantly
fresh.
studying, and just, now I do want to ask you, like, how was it like juggling friends around like Boy Meets World time and just everything else? Because there's tons of things you have to juggle, like friends, family, everything, school.
Yep.
How was that for you?
Well, I'm really a person who looks at things and goes, okay, what are my non-negotiables? You know, we talked about that a little bit with scheduling. For me, a non-negotiable is sleep. I am not willing to sacrifice my sleep because I know I'm not the best me when I don't have sleep. So
Right.
I don't sacrifice that. One of my non-negotiables for being a child actor was my social life. I wanted to have friendships, and I had most of my very good friends were at my regular school. So I grew up in Calabasas. I went to Calabasas High School. And our Boy Meets World schedule was 3 weeks of filming and 1 week off. 3 weeks of filming, 1 week off. And then of course during the holidays you get maybe 2 weeks off here and there.
Right.
And we filmed from like August to May, or August to March, let's say. And every week that we had off, that we were on hiatus, I went back to my school in Calabasas. I didn't stay studying on set. Okay. So we'd do our live studio audience on a taping on a Thursday. We'd have our taping on a Thursday night. That next morning, Friday, I was back at Calabasas High School, which meant I had to be to the day on the lesson plan of my high school. And on set, you only get 3 hours of school a day. Whereas on your regular school, you're there all day. So it was definitely more difficult for me because I had to constantly be to the moment where my regular school was. I didn't have time to make it up the following week. But it was really great because it let me have 1 week out of every month that I got to see all my normal friends. I went to all my school football games. I went to all my high school dances.
Yes.
I really had the best of both worlds. And then when we would wrap the show in March, I'd go to school full time from March until June, until we finished the school year. So for me, that's how I did it. I got to have both school friends. And by the way, that core group of friends that I was friends with in junior high and high school are still my best girlfriends. There's like 12 of us, and we're still, we're all moms now, and we're all still super close. My best friend I've known since I was 12 at junior high. So that for me was how I did it. But, everyone's got their different non-negotiables. For me, it was my friends.
I love that. And I love that you had a balance. You know,
Yes.
that's really important to have a balance and just separate it. You do your acting, you do your thing, but when it's over, have fun, be a kid, do
Exactly.
things kids would do, hang out. You know?
That's when we talked about striking while the iron's hot. Sometimes it means saying no to the project. Sometimes when if you're lucky enough to be on a series and all of a sudden it comes around to hiatus and they want you to spend your entire hiatus doing a film, but you really need that time to be with your family, or you really need that time to connect with your friends, sometimes it means saying no to a project. If the priority, unless your priority is, no, I'm full steam ahead 100% on my career.
Right.
But if it's to find a balance and to have a balance and friends and, you know, that kind of time is important to you, then sometimes it means saying no. Picking and choosing where you say no so that you can really give yourself your needs is important.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Boy Meets World comes to an end. Now, here comes Girl Meets World. Right as you're trying to get your master's, of course. So what were your thoughts and feelings toward moving forward in the industry? I know you said you didn't really want to, you were planning on not coming back at all, even though you said you did the dish, right?
Yeah, the dish was right before I went to college. But then once I was in college and I was like, I'm going to be a psychology major, I really stayed away from the industry and was just focused on psychology. But I was excited to bring Topanga back because it was a full evolution. It was something I hadn't played before. I had never been Topanga as a mom. I didn't know what Topanga was going to be like as a mom. And I wasn't a mom yet in my real life, so I didn't even have that to draw from. So I was excited to see what that meant and to see what the kind of family was that Corey and Topanga would have created, and to see what kind of, you know, dynamic they had with their kids. And I thought Topanga was a really fun mom. I know she was also kind of the disciplinarian. Corey was thought of as being the more fun parent. But I think her and Augie had a really fun relationship.
I love that show, by the way.
Thank you.
Such a good show.
It was really fun, and I liked who Topanga was as a mom. I was really happy to bring that back.
Yeah, it's a fun show. What would you say with some of the things you were able to bring with you from Boy Meets World to the new series?
Well, Topanga was very much, she had obviously stayed true to her plan. She was a type A, real book smart. She went to school to be a lawyer, and now she was going to be a judge. So all those things were very much I knew who Topanga was because she's very similar to who I am. And so I think I just brought a lot of who I naturally was myself into the character, and then played up all of my natural maternal instincts for what she was like as a mom. And tried to keep the fun in it and not take everything so seriously.
And I think that's amazing, and that just made it even better.
Yeah.
And I also want to know, were you able to, I'm sure, give so much knowledge to the other girls on the show, and not just everybody on the show, you know? Any newcomers coming in?
I hope so. I mean, that's where
Continue
I got my first opportunity to direct. That's where I learned. Girl Meets World was the first show I ever directed. I wrote an episode. Yeah, I co-wrote an episode, and I directed an episode. And I directed 4 actually. Starting in season 2, I directed 1, and then in season 3, I directed 3. And that's really where I was like, that's actually exactly what you said, feeling like I had the opportunity to help the kids on that show learn what this world was like, was where I realized, oh, I think this is a lot of what directing is. I was naturally stepping into a director role with the kids on the show, and that's where I learned that was going to be the next phase of my career, for sure, was that directing was going to be the next thing I moved into.
Wow, I was just going to ask, is that where you found your love for directing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And you say on Girl Meets World, not Boy Meets World.
Not on Girl Meets World, not Boy Meets World. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, that's fun. All right, let's talk about Be Free. Y'all gonna get y'all some hair care. Okay, so what inspired that, and how's it going?
It's going great. I was inspired to do that when I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son. I all of a sudden realized that I had this life growing inside me, and everything I was eating, I was thinking about, is this good for the baby? But I hadn't thought at all in my previous life before having a child what my hair care or my face wash or my lotion, your skin's your largest organ, what am I taking in that way? And so I heard my baby's heartbeat, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to start caring about what my products have in them. And so I scanned them and found out they had a lot of very bad ingredients in them. And I wanted to come up with something that I felt like was safe for pregnancy, but also worked. Because there are a lot of totally natural products out there, but they didn't lather, or they didn't, they didn't smell good, or they didn't do the things that normal, tried and true shampoo and conditioner products did. And so I was like, listen, if I have this need, and I know other people might as well, and so I created the line. We started with 3 really simple products: a scalp refresh, which is incredible for scalp health and is good for dandruff and hair regrowth, and a shampoo and a conditioner. And we did really well with it. People seem to really like it. It's good for you. It smells great with essential oils. There's no artificial fragrance. It's cruelty-free. It's made in the USA. And, it's free from any sort of iffy ingredients, but it works. And now we have a whole line. Now we've got dry shampoo, and my favorite of all of our products is our leave-in conditioner. It helps with brushing through tangles. Yeah, we've got a lot in a face wash. So yeah, we've got
a face wash too.
I'll send you some. You're gonna love it.
Because I love a good face wash.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, awesome. Now I know you and your husband are always giving back, which I love. You guys started that talk show.
Yes, quarantine.
Yes. Which I love so much. You guys were asking people questions and giving them prizes. That was so fun. Can you just talk to us a little bit about what are some of the causes you stand for?
Yeah, I do a lot of work with Children's Hospital because my son was born 4 weeks prematurely, and so he was in the NICU for the first 3 weeks of his life, and he was in and out of Children's Hospital for the first 6 months with doctor's appointments and checkups and all of that stuff. So I do a lot of work with Children's Hospital because that's something that's very close to my heart. I'm on the board of the American Humane Association, so I'm very big into rescuing animals.
What do you not do, Miss Danielle?
Oh my gosh. I'm big into I'm big into giving back, and then I like to give back in ways that nobody knows. I feel
that's the best.
That's the best feeling is when you go. I like to every now and then I like to go into a GoFundMe page and just search for something that's almost at its goal but not quite there, and then just bring something to its goal and be like, that's
so amazing.
And it's just a good feeling to know I helped get somebody to their goal. So I like those, I like paying it forward in small ways every single day. And I like encouraging other people to do that too. Like on my birthday every year, I always through social media, I always say, go and do something wonderful for someone else today. That's the best gift you can give me, is to go give somebody else a smile, do something nice for somebody, pay for the person behind you Starbucks one day when you're in line. Just surprise people.
Yeah.
Do something nice for someone.
I love that. So inspiring and kind. Y'all hear this? We all gotta strive to be like you.
Oh, I love you, Christian. I'm just trying to be like you.
Stop. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about your new podcast coming up, Pod Meets World. We got to talk about that. Okay, so where can people watch it? Tell us all about it.
So it is an iHeartRadio podcast, but you can get it anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Okay.
It is Will Friedle and Ryder Strong and myself. We are sitting down and watching every episode in order of Boy Meets World. Ryder has never seen the episodes. He watched a couple in the 90s when they aired, and he got so self-conscious as a teenager, he said, I don't want to watch anymore.
Really?
So he's never seen them. And both Will and I have only seen them when they originally aired in the 90s. We used to watch them with our families when they came on, but we haven't seen them since. So it is really like us watching them for the first time, kind of as fans, and coming to it with fresh eyes, and then talking about our behind-the-scenes moments and what was going on in our personal lives while we were filming, and what has changed for us since then, and how our relationships have evolved. And it's really fun. Yeah, it's going to be great. And it's coming very soon. Ooh. I think perhaps maybe the end of June.
Oh, you heard it here. That's so amazing. Yeah. I love the whole idea behind that, going back and watching other episodes and just reminiscing.
Yep.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Ms. Danielle, thank you so much for coming on and kicking it with me.
I can't believe I can believe, because is there anything you can do, but you are just such a natural host.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, this is definitely one of your callings.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And I was just so excited to have you as my first guest. I had such a good conversation with you, and you dropped a lot of knowledge for the people at home, for me, everybody. So thank you again for coming on.
Anytime.
Such a fun time. Now they can follow you on Instagram, right? At Danielle Fishel.
Yep.
And anything else you want to plug, feel free.
Yeah, I'm at Danielle Fishel on Instagram, and then also my hair care line is at Be Free by Danielle Fishel.
Yes, go check her out. Go support her. We love Miss Danielle. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, y'all. Next up, I'm in the kitchen. Ooh, what we cooking?
I want to stick around for that.
Ooh, come on. Thank you, serious.
Hey, how you gonna play me like Drogba, who? Drogba, who? How you gonna do me like Drogba, who? Drogba, who? Oh, DJ Drogba, who? Drogba, who? DJ Drogba.
up, y'all? We are in the kitchen. Okay, y'all, so I'm super excited for this segment because first of all, y'all already know I'm a foodie. I love to eat. And I always love helping people find fun, creative meals, super easy and simple. Just whip it up real fast, but it's good. It's good. And the meal I got for y'all today is so good. It's crab cakes and Alfredo pasta. Are y'all ready for this? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so all the ingredients you will be needing will be crab cakes, any seasoning of your choice. I'm using garlic powder, onion powder, Old Bay. I'm just using thin spaghetti. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the pot. I'm using the bottled Alfredo sauce. You can do whatever you choose. I got the Classico. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip this pack of crab cakes open. Now you could defrost these if you like, but like I told y'all, this is a quick meal. So me, when I'm hungry, I just wanna eat it. I just let it defrost on the pan. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start seasoning. You can go ahead and season to your liking. I'm doing a little onion powder, the Old Bay. And fellas, this is good for you too, okay? If you're trying to get a girl and you gotta hurry up and whip something up, this is a perfect meal. Just go ahead and whip it up in the kitchen. Super simple, super easy. Little does she know, it just took you like 25 minutes, but she might think you've been sweating in the kitchen all day, but really it's just a quick, easy meal and it tastes delicious. All right, y'all, so as you can see, we have our crab cakes. So next up, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this over here for when I'm ready to put it on the pan. But before I do that, I wanna show y'all, I do butter and oil and it just adds flavor. Just a little bit of oil, y'all. Especially since I already put butter. A little bit. We in the kitchen. I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil in my pan. Now, once you put your oil, pick up your pot, make sure it's not hot. Don't have your fire on just yet. I'm just kind of making sure it gets all around the pan. I can go ahead and put this pasta sauce in the pan. Now, let me tell y'all something. It takes maybe like 5 minutes, but you don't want to cook it for too long because if you cook it for too long, it's going to get too thick and we do not want that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open this jar, put all this yummy sauce. Now, it is pre-seasoned, but I like to season it a little bit more because they just be putting pepper. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring my seasonings over here. I'm not using the blackened for this. I'm just gonna use the regular Old Bay. But you can use any, like I said, seasoning to your liking. Crushed red pepper goes really well in this sauce. Tony Chacheri, can't go wrong with that. All-purpose seasoning, anything. Lori seasoning, add some of that. Powder, add a little bit of that. It's gonna taste so good, y'all. And I'm gonna just add one more of this because it's so good. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on a medium. Now, y'all see this right here? I'm trying to put y'all on with these veggies. It's good to live a good, healthy life. And you know, it's all about balance. So you can have a little crab cakes, a little Alfredo pasta, but try to add a little veggie to your meal every once in a while. Your body will thank you, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on the low so it doesn't get too thick. And I got my pan for my vegetables. I already added a little oil. And then I got my good old, I like thin. I don't know, because it's just something about it. It's not thick, but it's just more, because you get more noodles when it's thin. So I just love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my noodles. This is how y'all want y'all water to be. You can put however many noodles you want. It's just up to how many people you're serving. For me, it's just gonna be me today. Now we're gonna break our noodles in half, y'all. So I'm just gonna put it over and I'm just gonna snap it in half. Put it in, bam. Whew, y'all, I really hope you guys try this. I'm gonna go ahead and put our crab cakes on. That's how you want it to be. Okay, and I'm just gonna do a little pass again on the oil to get it under. It's sizzling, y'all, it's hot, it's hot. Okay. Yes, this is what we want. We want that grilled. See, we want that burnt crisp. Good, blackened, delicious. Now it is cooking fast because I don't want it to get any more burnt than this. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down a little bit, but it's looking good. And you can go ahead and add a little bit more oil. Who's getting hot in the kitchen? Hot in the kitchen. Whew, it's hot, y'all. I just wanted to give you guys a quick, easy meal, and this is probably one of my favorites. I love making this. Let's go ahead and take a little bite before we head out. Cause listen, this looks so good. Hold up, I gotta raise this up for y'all because I don't think y'all understand. Y'all see that good crab cake inside? It's the crab for me. Okay, hold on. Here goes the bite, y'all. Talk about season, though. Talk about season. And of course, I'm encouraging y'all to eat y'all vegetables. So I gotta take a bite of these delicious veggies, get some cauliflower, everything. But thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. Hope you guys try this recipe. Tag me so I can repost. But I don't need y'all to go anywhere, okay? Because I'll be answering some questions. All right? Don't go anywhere.
Joanna, your busy body busy tonight. Mad, Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh. Hey, life, hey. Why you do me like Joanna?
What's up, y'all? I am here at the Culver City Stairs, and I am excited for today's workout because, listen, I love a good outdoor workout. Anytime I can work out outside, I love it. One of my friends introduced me to this spot, actually, and I loved it ever since, but I don't know why I'm so excited right now because this is a challenge, okay? These are some steep steps, not your ordinary steps, but we're going to take it one step at a time. We got it. All right, let's get it. Getting real now. I don't know why every time before I go up these steps I get a little nervous, you know? Bubble guts. But we'll be all right. But we got it. You know, when you do workouts like this, you really got to tap into a different mindset, okay? You got to go into beast mode. Ooh, y'all must have thought I was playing. Y'all must have thought I was playing. I don't think y'all ready for this. You might as well. Whew. This is real, y'all. It's getting real. Y'all, this is about 280 steps. Steep steps at that. But we got it. All right, let's get it. Halfway through these steps. What I really like about them is that you don't always have to just take the steps. If you want to stop in the middle of it, you can take this hike. I think it's a good balance, but we're gonna finish off with the steps today. All right, let's get back to it. I'm tired, y'all. And it's hot. Like, whew, why do I do this to myself every single time? Knowing I'm gonna not make it through these steps. No, I will make it through these steps. You gotta speak it. You gotta speak life into yourself. My gosh. At this point, I'm dead. They had a lady pass me by when I was down there, and she was running past me. I was walking. And I'm like, I know you're not trying to compete, because I can run too, okay? It's all right. I'm gonna take it at my own speed. I got it. Whew. Whew. This heat is disrespectful, y'all. Like, why is the heat mad at me? I'm just trying to live. Whew. Listen. What's that y'all Revo say? I've been walking with my face turned to the stairs. Whew. I need some help, y'all. We almost there, y'all. Come on. Whew. Whew. We almost there, y'all. We made it to the end. Hallelujah. Right there. Ooh. I can smell that finish line. Smell it. We made it. We did it, Joe. We did it. Listen, we made it to the end. I was tired. I didn't know if I could finish, but I did. And I want y'all to know it's not about how you start, but it's about how you finish. And you could do it no matter what. You're always gonna come across challenges and, you know, things you feel like you can't push through, but you can do it, okay? It's about how you finish. And we finished today, okay? And look at this beautiful view. Like, come on. Yes. You can see the whole downtown from here. Beautiful. Whew. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for joining. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I need a nap and some water. concludes Ask Christian and the end of our episode. Thank y'all so much for kicking it with me today. I had so much fun talking with Miss Danielle and teaching y'all how I make one of my favorite meals. Also, if you guys try it, please tag me. I would love to see it. All right, thank y'all for kicking it with me. See y'all next time.